Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to back my class again. Last time we talked about the microservice design Python for the one host hold group of multiple microservice implemented by MuleSoft. So today I want to open another important topic, talking about the document open API. So this is a very significant things for microservice. How we going to document our uh, open API? How we going to expose our open API? How do we make our developer life easier for API maintenance created? So we are going to still use the subject to project to do the demo. So first I add a post endpoint because we need to when we talk about documentation, we need to another post to better to do the multiple fields to see how we're going to do it. So I add a endpoint for this, and this is samples for payload. The sample is the endpoint is very simple, so we just have body and we have sample JSON. So let's run it, see what happened. So it started. Is running deployed. So now the subject service is deployed. So you can see there are this deployed, and if you see the new documentation like a present, you can see there are two endpoints. So post and get. So let's take post to look at. So this is get, and we look at the post. So post has very simple samples. There's no other because we just put the examples for JSON as body. So that's for the post. So when you look at the API flow definition, I didn't do much. It's only the endpoint open and there is payload setup. That's it. There's no much function we want to do because we only want to focus on API. So let's try for Postman to see. So if you hit Postman, and you can see the status 201 is created. So this is a very simple payload, but so we have issue to see maximum numbers. We really want to have an integer number here, but you can see there is no validation as this simple open. You can put anything in the value. So this is one issue we at the beginning we're going to face this. So we bring up the question how we can do the validation. So many way we can do it. Let's keep the simple way, which a lot of people at the beginning they want to do the way. They want to put the JSON schema to control it. JSON schema control is simple, so I have the JSON schema defined as this files. I have a type defined for string integer, and boolean. So I will also define which fields is required. So this is a very simple schema files we define. Now I want to apply this schema in my post endpoint. I want to make sure whatever data comes in, I have this definition. So in RAML, you can define tab in the body, and you point to the use this object to like a subject name and point to the JSON schema. Then we use we put in a tab for this subject in our endpoint. So let's restart again, see if it works for the validation part. Let's start it. It's running. So it starts deploy. Deployed. You can see pretty much same. There's no much since we have, but if you look at the MuleSoft API presentation, they have a tab which point to the schema, and in the box schema is there. If you look at the post, so since we add, then you have schema button in below here, so you can see when you click, you see all the schema in the box, which is good. So it's nice presentation and nice work from MuleSoft. You can see the most information we have here in RAML, and we define here. So let's try same post again. So now we get a bad request. So what happened is we you look at the log. So the schema tells you we looking for an integer, but we get string. So that's the validation works. So which basically stop the API. Is that good enough? Is that a good way to present Open API? Well, at least this is the minimal work right now we have, and we haven't done too much. But the brain question is, so for schema, you definitely you cannot inheritance. So you have to define this tab in multiple times if you increase the version, right? So you have to constant paste, then you add different more like fields name, more different type for fields. So this basically is one thing. Then for the versioning, you have to go to each versioning the copy over. You have to keep the backwards compatibility. So this will be the issue for this documentation. What we want to do is as Open API document, we want to something can be reusable for object tab, right? We want to object tab can be inheritance. We can reuse in different version. So this is our goal for me to think about the Open API documentation. So when you want to document Open API, also you can look at all the open source people currently doing. Some people use JSON and JSON schema as I did for the subject, and also for some people use the YAML. Here I present first the use the RAML. So you can see the structures. In the endpoint, in the min YAML RAML body, we have endpoint. In the documentation structures, you can see you have this student demo RAML. Then you have samples. You have a library, and then you have folder for v1.0 to present. You compare with subject, so you can see different from this. So basically, Raymond did after 1.0 did a very good job to organize different things, give terminology. They use the object tab. They can use treat to do the more definition for method, which can be inheritance in the master level and use for define the header or parameter or response. And the resource tab is really help us to do the definition. Here you can see I have the name definition for student, which is a string, and the max length I define at 40. So this one is our basic tab, used over the place for student descriptions like first name and last name. It's name. If you have subject name, it's going to be a name, but it's still type is string. It could be different lengths, and then we can global wise define the basic error tab. So this is core base I call. Then you have common tab. As a defined library, you can have first name, last name. You can see the type we can use. We use the JSON. We use the RAML file to define the input type. Then we reuse these names for our first name and last name definition. So this can be used for different versions as well, right? So if you look at the v1.0, we have inside we have a type definition. So we basically define a student object, and we put the property first name and last name, and the type is defined in the common type. So in this way, you will present the object or payload you want to define. You can put in the min RAML files. So you basically you can see when you use like the type, you can define the type point to different min type you define in different versions. And also you can see I have treat definition for my method. You can define all the errors code. Also you can define the headers. So those like more reusable, more organized. So you just double check for this samples. So you can see this is RAML defined array. This is really defined. So its slides are different from JSON, but very close. Let's try to run, see how the MuleSoft to present their document the API. So I'm running the main object now to hook up two projects. It's running. So student demo project deployed, and then subject demo defined as well. So you can see two project deployed. So subject is same, so there's no change as we did in the JSON schema. You can see everything here in the box. Then let's take a look at the student demo. We used the YAML. We used the RAML to do the definition document. So you can see clear here is the object. Now you point to where's the requirements, right? So then you have the first name, last name tab, and you look at the student, and the student clear said there are two priority for first name, last name. So it's for the type organized, you can see the inheritance from where to where to organize the object. That's the tab. So if you look at the post, you can see the same samples there. We had samples, and also you can see in the body payload how they define this. So basically, MuleSoft really did a good job for this document API to present their RAML definition. So that's the way I think is more more easier for developer to tracking all the tab fields objects, and which also we can reuse in as long as we upgrade our version numbers. So this definitely is I think is the more useful way to go and easy for a developer. So again, you look at the our API document tree. You can see the very obviously easy to maintain, to find where's the definition for which single piece of part. So you can see the version, and you can from version you can track down. So for me, it's compared to JSON schema, this is more maintainable, more easier. So let's the RAML definition to document Open API. I use it for my almost 2 years microservice API documentation. So I feel it's really comfortable go this way. Also remember this RAML entire file and the folder is not only for MuleSoft. It's not specified for MuleSoft. RAML after 1.0 is complained to YAML 1.2. So you can transfer RAML file to the YAML file. You can transfer RAML file to the JSON. There's a lot open source tool to convert each other. Here I have installed one called RAML to HTML to just quickly demo what I mean. So if I want to use my own way to present my documentation for my by using this RAML, I don't want to go to the MuleSoft. So what I have downloaded is for this file called the RAML to HTML. So it's open source. I downloaded it. Let's go to the folder. You can see. We find our RAML location. We go to student demo, and we go to src, and we go to the API, and if you list, you can see it. So let's use command to convert. So we use the RAML to HTML. Then we type a student demo dot RAML. Then we give name student HTML. Okay, have a command issue. We try it again. Still not there, and we have command issue. I have a save command somewhere. Let me find it. Yeah, here we go. So it's not the space, it's just the go to the command. So now we miss the RAML here. Always get copy paste issue for this. So now you done and you look at you have XML converted. So let's open the browser to take a look. So how it's look like. You can see the conversion, you have a page and you have endpoint. You have two endpoint for get and post. So that's the way. There's the way you can do the HTML page define your open API. You see this is endpoint v1.student. Then you have a get. So so this RAML file is definitely goes a lot different space by using different tool to whatever you want to do. It's not limited to MuleSoft. I think that's pretty much I want to see this defined on my own work, defined a way to present our open API to document it, to make our developer life easier to maintain the project. I want to stop here for this class. Thank you.